More jump scares? Really? Don't go out at night, man. Don't go out. The people out there at night. Yeah. They might hurt you. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I absolutely get it. But do you get that that means that there's something fundamentally wrong with your town? That this proves it. This is what I've been talking about. By the way, here my man titties. They're heavy. And I try so hard not to do a podcast every time I have to deal with PTSD. But here it is. Cleared getting through the lobby and then make a turn. But of course, there's always something parked there. So there's never a clear line of vision. What the fuck? Like I don't know what to tell you people. You're just pathetic. I understand you're trying to impress upon me the dangers of the world. Okay, I'm trying to impress upon you that if this is such a dangerous town, then maybe the town should do something. Maybe the town should say, hey, do we have way too many poor people in this neighborhood? Okay, then why are we all poor? Hmm? Can we start there? You see, I do my conversation on socialism every chance I get. Every chance I get, because if you have to spend this amount of time to fake jump scare me, then you might as well just say there's something wrong with the tone. Does that mean that you need a higher police presence there? Does that mean you need to start hiring civilian police? You see, I am a historian. I'm a historian. You see, you see, you see. That's, I cannot resist. I cannot. That show was amazing on so many levels. So many levels. Either way, I am a historian. I believe in looking toward the past to maybe solve some of the issues that we have today. Were people in the past malnourished? Yes and no. When their nourishment was mostly alcohol and bread, that's malnourished. But then there were some among them that just ate meat and vegetables. And those were the ones that had magic. Those were the ones that were healthy. Those were the ones that were happy. I should title the next one A Life Without Bread. A Life Without Bread. Someone once talked about loaves and fish. I'm not going to talk about loaves and fish because if you just give people food, you're not really giving them much. Sometimes you need to tell them why you eat the way you do. Personally, I eat like a third century peasant. I'm okay with that. Why? Because when I look at American food, when I look at most countries and their nutrition, they forget. They forget. They keep remaking Robin Hood without learning why they need to keep saying Robin Hood. You keep it in your zeitgeist because there was a time when a peasant, a very, 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 very poor person, maybe had a farm, maybe they didn't, but anyone could go out into the forest. This is before supermarkets theory. They could go out into the forest with a bow and arrow, bag a deer, and then bring it back. And most likely the whole village would be like, shit, you're not going to eat that whole thing. I mean, if you did, that would be funny, but, let's cure some of it. Let's, put this in a stew. Let's, I don't know, put some leaves around it, give it that flavor. They were fancy. They were fancy, but you could always do that. Somehow, with the invention of bread, people people lost it. We talk about dogs and the most domesticated, friendly dogs that you'll ever meet. Like my dog Echo. I love him. I love him because he's such a wow. I'm not exactly sure where that came from, but either way, that was weird. His ears are tufted. They just fold over. He's a very friendly dog. My other dog, she has pointed ears. She does care about me. She does. But she can be just a little bit bitchy. Just a little bit bitchy. Bread is the ear tufts for humans. If you eat that consistently, and I have most of my life, just not sure that's what people wanted. I'm sure when you look at famous people, they got six-pack arms, they got this, they got that. They're not doing everlasting breadsticks. They get their carbs, but they don't do it from grain. Oh, oh yeah, that reminds me. I have to stop calling you people American. I'm gonna have to start calling you multigrain Cheerios because you're descended from Brits. America's descended from Britain, so instead of calling them Americans, just call them multigrain Cheerios. I don't know. I can't even begin to understand. If you live in a town where you cannot go outside at night, you shouldn't live in that town. I'm gonna be here for a short amount of time, and like I said, I'm just trying to get through what I get through, and then I'm gonna leave for the next place. It's what I do. It's what I will do. Why? Because I don't need a house. I learned that. I learned that I don't need a house. That houses are for boring people. Am I a boring person because I stay inside all day? Yes and no. But then I leave and I can enjoy someplace else because why not travel? Why not find that village that said, yeah, we have less crime because we're involved. We don't just say to the police, sort this out. It's a mess. Take care of that. No, there are towns that say, okay, well, neighborhood watch. Closest you can get to a town guard. Closest you can get. Should you have to live that way? No, you shouldn't. But if you did, would it be the end of the world? Would it be the end of the world if a town said, all right, we've had some crime in the area, one by one, two by two, pair up and patrol the fucking streets? If you had a burglary in your area, one, it's because you didn't have that. Now, the police will always say, oh, well, we're understaffed, or, we can't dispatch the police to be on every street. Fine, fine. You don't have enough recruitment for police officers. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to tell civilians, get out of the houses, choose among you, and patrol the streets. Oh, is that person trying to get into their house through a window? They may not live there. I wonder. Maybe I should phone that in. If you were walking around doing that, looking to see if there are an issue, you'd have less issues. But everyone has been programmed because of television, and I have learned and grown and become so intelligent because of television. But now I've learned enough. I've learned enough. So I had to stop television because the amount of time that you are spending watching television, you're not engaged in life. Should you still watch? That's your decision. That's yours. But you can't watch television if there's a forest fire right outside. You can't. I was trapped in that disgusting LA forest fire. And because I have my PTSD, because of the fact that I have so many PTSD triggers that I don't work out, I don't try to make myself look nice or get myself fit, I wouldn't have been able to help in that particular case, but someone should have. The whole forest is on fire, not just one, but like five of them at a time. When are people going to realize that you have to say, I contribute something to the community? If it's, I have a position of educator, then that's what you contribute. But everyone should contribute something. The government doesn't want to tell you, you know, if you want more money, you're going to have to work for more money. The government doesn't want to tell you that because you'll just do that on your own. Every American addicted to consumerism always thinks more hours equals more pay, not less hours and less spending equals more pay. How much is putting metal bars on your window? Is it $500? Is it $1,000? Or maybe it's, how about you just have a better time? Hmm? America, 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 America. Make America great again. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm not exactly a MAGA person, but that idea, I can't just let liberals piss on it. Why can't I let liberals piss on the idea that make America great again? Why? Because there has to be a time when it was. There has to be a time when it was. For some people, it was nuclear family. For some people, it was less recession, less depression. Maybe it was people were happy, at least on the outside. Okay, my little explorer. You want the country that you live in to be successful. All these liberals who say, I'm against Make America Great Again, they don't understand. You still live here. You still live here. I understand with my strange fucking way of talking that, oh, by the way, we got some people I should. Hello, Nicholas. Hello, Yana. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the revolution. I'm Ian Leona. I talk about socialism. You still live in America. I understand that, because I speak rather strangely, that I don't exactly fit into America, but I live here. What does that mean? Does that mean that you buy things here, or does that mean that you're involved? You want to be involved. You don't want to be the person who says, I had no idea I was being robbed because it wasn't until the commercial break that I finally noticed the broken glass all around me. Come on. Is that you? Is that you? You don't want that to be you. I mean, I guess I have to start a few initiatives. Maybe that's the one that I start. The idea that at night, maybe you stay in, maybe you go out. Maybe it is an issue of citizens need to be citizens and do something for their country. It's because I'm a veteran. Not particularly because of my military service, but just the pledge itself of, do you understand? You see, that's the issue with that pledge, oh my, I cannot speak English. I am terrible at this language. I hate the fact that I speak it. The enlistment pledge is many things, but it is a way to remind a person of their obligations, yes, but do you recognize that you live here? Do you recognize that when your country is attacked from both without and within, it is up to you to do something about it? When Smokey the hot forest bear with his giant manly pecs, hairy pecs, tells you that only you can prevent forest fires, he means it. Forest fires are preventable if we had more forest rangers, more people interested in parks and recreation besides Chris Pratt and Aubrey Plaza, then we would have people to actually say, you know, I smell smoke in the forest. Maybe I should phone that in. If someone was there just a little bit earlier, just a little bit earlier, things might have been different. We have doctors who tell people, "Oh, you have anxiety, you're stressed, man, you're stressed. You know what you need? You need a pill. Take a pill, enjoy that. I know you're stressed. Please enjoy that." They don't tell people, why don't you get out the city? Why don't you take a small sabbatical and be a forest ranger. Go walk the fucking forest, get yourself trained, do something. That's not the life for everyone, but we have no one there. And we have everyone here on top of each other, practically. Get out of my way, I'm in a car. I went outside and this nasty motherfucker is speeding in a residential zone. Now, is there a police there? Is there a speed camera there? No. Should I have reported it? Most likely. Why? Because when they get a ticket, they're upset. They're upset. But you know what would be more upsetting if some teenager was running around outside and they got hit by a car because someone decided, you know what, people live here, but I need to get to wherever I'm going a little faster. Americans are all about shortcuts. They don't want to go the long way. It's stairs versus ramp. It's like you could take the stairs, but the stairs require coordination. A ramp just requires concentration, maybe a little bit of determination. If you want something really, really badly, you will slowly improve. You'll get better. If you want America to improve, you have to improve. You have to do more. You can't just do jump scares against a disabled person, West Coast. You have to say, you know what? Maybe the putting America together thing, we can do that. It doesn't have to be the same America that it was before, but maybe a little bit of cohesion makes sense. That's the thing I kind of dislike about California. They're rebels and everything in all the wrong ways. They want to dismantle everything, but they don't want to create anything. But there's the entertainment business, and that you could be so rich, built on what? Slavery? Underpaid production assistants, underpaid stunt doubles. Every superhero looks cool when he's punching a guy in the face. What about the guy who's getting punched in the face? How much do you think he's worth? Do you even know his name? I didn't think so. I don't. The idea that these California dreams that they force on people are somehow better than a good, decent community where you can live, you can raise a family, and you don't have to worry about drugs or any sort of corrupting influence. Those are the kind of things that you want in your life. You want maybe not security, but at least trust. If you can't trust your neighbors, if you can't trust your town, then why do you live there? I mean, I'm getting closer and closer to the great, great, great white north, and I'm finding it hard to find a reason to stay here. Does it mean that I can't form my own little town in Canada? yes, I'd be giving that up. But at least there are towns there, some towns, not all, but there's some towns in Canada where people say, "Do you see the temperature outside? Okay, let's just agree not to fuck with each other, okay? By the way, do you have firewood? Because I am running low, so let me know if we can work a deal out." That's Canada because they have to depend upon each other. You could say Canadians are friendly because, that's just the way that they were raised. It's no, you have to deal with a true adversary, frigid cold, frigid cold. If you had to deal with that, you might have to be nice. You might have to say, you know, you stepped on my flowers. But then a snowstorm and the power goes out, people might think, yeah, let bygones be bygones. To the town hall so we don't all freeze to death. Yeah, yeah. That's the attitude of a country that has to deal with something real. Do they have their own television? Do they have their own entertainment? They do. They do. But they also have to deal with that. Americans, they live in a nice little temperate zone and yeah, they deal with hurricanes, they deal with all of it. They don't come together for anything. Anything. It is a me versus you scenario. So yeah, I'm still looking for a reason to stay in America because I may not get everything that I can get here, but at least I might have decent people to be around for maybe a little while before they say, eh, can we help you? So there's that. And by the way, this is one of the reasons why I have to talk to the United Nations and try to find another way to talk about immigration. You don't send anyone to the United Nations. Where are these protesters? Because I need to start contacting them. What are they doing? What are they doing? Because if they can't just go to the United Nations and say, hey, we're dealing with a situation where we want amnesty for the majority of immigrants and dreamers. Now, the United Nations might say, well, your federal government is giving a policy. It's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Do you live in this country? Do you have rights? You have the right to be heard. If you want change, that's what you do. Sometimes you got to go to your superior officer, chain of command. And right now, Americans are not utilizing it. They're not boycotting and they're not speaking to other nations saying, you know what? People trusted that when they came to this country, they would be treated with some dignity, that maybe their lives wouldn't be perfect, maybe their lives wouldn't be happy, but they might receive due process of law. The sanctity of life might be respected. Honor might be something that they could associate with America. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So why aren't we opening our mouths and speaking to the United Nations to affirm our own popular opinion? If you did a poll And most of the people in your area, your city, your state approve of immigration, then you need to send your delegate or whoever is available to go speak to the United Nations and say, you know what, states' rights. That why do people go to school if they don't learn that? You have rights in a state to say, I challenge what the federal government says. Not everyone in the state is going to agree with you. It might be, well, I agree, and my neighbor agrees, and the neighbor next to her agrees, but maybe my other neighbor disagrees. Well, I guess what? Guess what? America needs to understand what a civil war means. This is a civil war. You pick a side. You pick a side. And in a town, it might be a town divided. It might be a town divided. But guess what? If three or four of the town people said, we want immigration, and seven said no, well, guess what? The three that did should want to move to an area that respects their popular opinion. It might be unpopular in some areas. So I'm talking about forming my own town, but I think you just have to split up these towns. I think you have to split them up and say, we believe this on this side of the street, and you believe that on that side of the street. And people need to get it out of their heads of, I bought this house. I was going to give it to my kids, and they were going to give it to their kids, and we'll always live here. We'll always live here. You people are traumatized, traumatized. I know trauma. I am traumatized because of the American government, but you're traumatized because you don't want to leave. You don't want to leave your town. You don't want to leave your job. You don't want to leave anything. The goddamn fucking forest burns around you and people refuse to move. Even animals fucking run from fire. Why don't Americans? Hmm? These multi-grain Cheerios know that they're in a final solution designed by the government to just frustrate you till you pick each other off. When a road rage incident happens, we love to look at the people and say, you know, you did a bad thing. You, shame on you. Control your anger, mate. Control it. We don't like to say, yeah, but why were they angry? Were they angry because there was traffic there? Okay, well, why was there traffic there? Oh, did that person cut them off and wouldn't allow them to go further? Person made an illegal turn there. Oh, okay. Well, where's that in that conversation? Where is any conversation? Americans just they don't try. All right. Might be difficult. Might be difficult. But I encourage people, especially my fans, the people who keep coming into this, to re-examine your life. Re-examine who you are and where you are. Because if where you are isn't reflecting your ideals, your sense of dignity, then you need to leave. When America sexually abused me, they disrespected me. They disrespected me. I'm trying to find a reason not to leave and continue fighting for the people. I'm just a little unsure if that's even possible to find. Either way, my name is Ian Iliona. I am a mutant. I'm a werewolf. I'm a veteran with PTSD. I'm a hero. We can build a future. We can build a future. I hope to see you on the next podcast.